wags its heels to taunt you. But after sunlit days, one thing stays the same. Rises the moon. Days fade into a watercolor blur. Memories swim and haunt you. But look into the lake, shimmering like smoke. Rises the moon. Oh, close your weary eyes. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to darken fading summer skies. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Days pull you down just like a sinking ship. Floating is getting harder, but tread the water, child, and know that meanwhile rises the moon. Days pull you up just like a daffodil, uprooted from its garden. They'll tell you what you owe, but no, even so rises the moon. You'll be visited by sleep. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to steal away each dream you keep. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Hello, hello. My name is Sawyer, and I am a host on DnDVL, and I play a character named Brian. And before we introduce everybody, I just wanted to give a brief disclaimer to our audience that everything that we say or do tonight is an act of fiction. None of it is real, and we do not condone some of the behaviors depicted in tonight's airing of DnDVL. With that out of the way, I'm going to pass it off to my fellow host, Andrew.
Hello. Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Sawyer, for that. My name is Andrew. I am a fellow host on DnDVL. I play a big, lovable giant Fezzick. Glad to be here, and I am going to pass it off to another host, Twylen.
Hello, I'm Twylen. I play the witty Spectrum, and I would like to pass it off to Evan.
Hello, my name is Evan, and I am a guest host here who is playing Ruby Wind, or Ruben for short.
I guess we'd like to pass it off over to the other room.
Our people
Our-
in
our-
the other room that we tolerate.
Our
I'm
board op,
hurt.
our momentary board op because Jerry's not here.
Hi, I'm Bree. I play Dylyn. I'm hurt. Y'all hurt me. What the
Wait,
heck?
I thought you were Bree.
What,
Listen.
like the cheese?
No, I'm hungry now.
And I'm Emma. I'm the Dungeon Master of DnDVL. And tonight, unfortunately, we don't have our board opera Jerry tonight.
Womp womp.
I said tonight twice. That's gonna bother me. But later, well, not later. Right now, I'm gonna be board hopping for tonight's episode along with Dungeon Mastering. And
You're
yeah,
so silly cool like that.
I'm so awesome like that. I can multitask. I swear. No, I can't. It's a lie. Everything is false. Is this reality? I don't think it is.
Flip a coin.
My coin's in my bag.
We got some dice.
Yeah, that is
My
That's
dice are
true.
in my bag.
Roll a d20 if it's even.
If it's even, you're lying.
Yeah.
I'm lying? I'm a liar? Ooh. Bree,
You know. Like a liar.
Bree, come to next session with a new character.
Oh no.
Rolled a 5. Think we're okay.
See, you're not lying.
I think we're fine.
Or was I?
no.
So, anyone want to give a brief recap what happened last episode, since we haven't had an episode in like a week or two.
Yay, spring break.
Anyone?
Yeah, I can recap a little bit of it, and then where I falter, somebody else can pick up.
You got some notes?
Yeah, sure. So at the beginning of last week, we were in our rooms, and we were looking around and investigating each of our rooms kind of independently. And in the course of that, in Fezzick's room, there was a new character, a new friend that we now have over here, Ruben. And some shenanigans went on. There was some commotion in Dylyn's room, and then there was a commotion in Brian's room, and there was a something of a demon that attacked Brian, and then a tiefling appeared in place of the demon, if I remember correctly. And then the little slime, our little slime friend, gave us a revised contract, and Brian and Fezzick and Dylyn, I think, all signed
Dylyn
it.
signed it.
We're waiting Spectrum and Ruben formally to sign it. But then the tiefling also showed up for a little bit at the end. And where my brain is leaving off, Brian was searching for booze, and there was none. And the slime said we need to do a supply run. And we just used my alchemy jugs. But is that anybody have any additions?
They changed our contract to say your stories go on. They haven't ended. So good news. We aren't dead so far. We
Yeah.
think.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
But yeah, we had a lot of personal traumas arise and be revealed
Yeah.
throughout this past episode.
Yeah. And with that, let's sort of get into things, because it's been a couple of days since you signed your initial contracts. Everything sort of just, calmed down a bit. And all of you are sort of just sitting at the bar, sort of just reminiscing a bit. The slime, the goop
slime.
buddy, is sort of just sitting on top of the countertop.
Is he still wary of me after I fell on him?
Yeah, side-eyeing you to a great extent.
I'm sorry.
Did I have time to fix his glasses, by the way?
I believe you did.
Okay, cool.
If for some reason it wasn't mentioned in the last episode, I'll just say in the couple of days that passed, you were able to sort of mend them together.
Okay, perfect.
And he's sort of just sitting on the countertop, and he has a quill and pen in hand. Ooh, if I can speak. And he sort of just starts jotting down some stuff. And he sort of just passes it over to Brian, and the note sort of reads, "What's your favorite color?"
What a good question, little guy. I'd have to say a nice dark royal blue. Something about blue really speaks to me, and I just can't get enough of it, frankly.
Nice.
Good job. And so, the tiefling that like sort of like appeared out of nowhere last episode, sort of just comes up and it's like, really, blue? Okay, a little bit basic.
Would you rather it be red? He says to the tiefling.
No, no. Yeah.
Yay!
Bree's showing me notes. And she's just like, no, I don't know if I had to choose a color. I wouldn't choose blue though. Maybe like a nice like burgundy, I guess.
Oh.
Looking at her, she like is wearing a lot of clothes that have like burgundy, like sort of like little satchels on them. But she is a blue tiefling, so
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When she's
She was a
making
blue tiefling.
comments of that's basic. Okay.
she's basic.
She's blue. Mm-hmm,
Would you like to share her name or can I share her name?
You can share her name.
Her name is Eliada, and I love her with all of my being. The note that I showed Emma was basically me just going, Mother?
So Eliada or Eliana?
Eliada. Like,
Eliada.
Two T's?
Yeah, 2 T's.
The
Funny-
amount of times I've misspelled it.
Funny enough, I do have a character that's also named Eliana. But that was for like a spin-off campaign. Because Eliada was the first character I ever played.
Oh.
A bit of lore dropped here.
Yeah.
DM lore.
DM lore.
When I actually get to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, forever DM. Am I right, guys? Or am I right?
But we love you.
You're right.
Yep.
But yeah. And so, yeah, Elia just says burgundy.
Well, I guess that's a good color. And then I'm gonna turn to Spectrum, who's right next to me, and say, "What about you, friend?"
Huh. I guess. I mean, I like a lot of colors, but like, it's not necessarily a color I like. I enjoy like pearlescent, opalescent like textures that have all the colors.
Oh, that's a very, very good response. And then I'm gonna gesture to Ruben, who's right to Spectrum's side. What about you, friend?
Oh, favorite color of mine? Well, you know my real name. You know that for short I'm called Ruben, but, you know, Ruby wins my other name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously my favorite color is emerald green. You can't go wrong with it.
Love that.
Obviously, of course, of course.
A golden yellow is also a golden color is also nice. A nice or even a silvery color or rose gold. Honestly, anything that shines, it's a top tier color in my opinion.
Very good answer. Very good answer. And then I'm gonna elbow Fezzick, who's on my other side.
Okay. So Fezzick is still kind of where we left off last episode, where he's still got the hairbrush and just kind of running his finger through it. And he is not paying attention. So upon your elbowing him, he's gonna go, huh?
What color do you like, big guy? What's your favorite?
Fezzick go microwave.
And he's gonna look down at his green pants and go, green.
Ah, yes.
Lovely.
What a good answer, my friend. Such a rich and important color. Deep,
I'd agree
you could
with
say.
that.
It is the color of grass.
And
The thing
pants.
And
That everyone
Fezzick's
needs to
pants.
touch.
And my pants in real life.
Are they?
I'm wearing green pants.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
It's
wearing that.
it's becoming a thing now. Like it started as a joke, but I have many pairs of green pants. I think it's just kind of my identity now.
You're no longer Andrew. You're just green pants guy.
I'm just Luigi.
It's a me,
Oh, yeah.
Instead of I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
Ken, I'm just Luigi.
I'm just Luigi.
I'm just Ouija.
Eliana's gonna look towards Dylyn and sort of just like, I think I can guess, but I'll ask. What about yourself?
What do you think? I'll let you know if you're right or if you're wrong.
Is it pink? No.
No, it is blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Varying shades of blue, but blue.
Man, all of you. Well, not all of you. I'll give you props for the green, I guess.
Hey, in Dylyn's defense, she was originally a Winter Eladrin. And her outfit was literally blue. I'm looking at her old art right now.
I know. I see.
But the listeners can't see.
Since the listeners can't see, Bree, you want to describe what previous Dylyn's outfit
Okay.
looks like?
So, previous Dylyn was wearing a dark, like a navy blue skirt with a sky blue top with a medium blue toned jacket tunic over top, and she had like elbow length gloves that went around her middle fingers, and then she had like dark gray boots with a sapphire affixed at the top.
Oh. Very nice, very nice. Alrighty. The blob, the little goop guy, sort of just looks around and sort of nods and then grabs the paper again and writes out another question, which is, what was your life like?
What a jump.
Yeah. Does he pass it over to Brian?
Yeah.
You laugh in your corner.
Okay. So Brian reads it aloud to the group, and he says, "Well, I guess this is a group questioning then. So this next question is, what was your life like?" I'll go first for this one, and then I'll pass the next opportunity to go first to somebody else. But my life was quite rough. There was a certain point before I, and Brian at this point, he kind of, his eyes look a little bit distant, and he says, before I met Mel, and he's gonna kind of trail off after that, and he's gonna kind of get a little bit sad at this point, and he's gonna say, well, before I met Mel, I was quite the ruffian, you could say, and I was a busser at this one fine dining establishment for the beginning of my youth, and then towards the end of it, I learned how to fight, and I was quite the brawler at that point in my life. And then Mel found me, and Mel kind of set me on a different path to become more of a family man. And then, and at this point, Brian's going to really trail off, muttering to himself about, then the bandits came. And Brian is going to just gesture to Spectrum and just say, you go now.
I mean, my life was, I spent my whole life in the village that I grew up in. My mother was the leader of the village. She and Mama, they did their best to protect our village from pillagers. Many pillagers would come by, and all of us children were raised to be able to protect the village, as we inherited some celestial powers. And well, I don't know. I was the eldest, so I had help train my siblings and all that to, do combat. It's not. You can tell that they aren't exactly thrilled about their childhood. Teaching children to fight is not exactly a great thing. And they just held us to very high standards, and because of our apparently we descend from a god or something. And I don't know. I love my family. I want all the best for my family and my village. So that's all I can really say so far.
Brian is going to take the beer that he has on the table that he filled up using his alchemy jug, and he's going to raise it up and say, "Cheers to family."
To family.
And does anybody else raise their beer on the table, or is it just Spectrum
Dylyn
and I?
does.
Okay.
Yeah, Eliana also sort of raises up a glass.
Fezzick's still playing with the hairbrush. Sorry, bud.
Fezzick has his own alchemy jug, by the way. He doesn't have a mug of beer. He's got one
Alchemy jug.
Yeah, one alchemy jug.
I feel like a mug in Fezzick's hand would just be really, really tiny.
It's comically small.
Yeah.
It's like a Lego piece.
Yeah. It's like barely a shot's worth.
Yeah. No, the alchemy jug that Fezzick has is kind of like, have you ever seen like a moonshine glass jug? It's
The
like
ceramic?
that. Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Thank you.
yeah, it's a nice big guy.
What about you, Ruben?
Well, what about me?
Life. What's it like?
Well, I suppose I got to disagree with the family notion right there. Yeah. When I was a young lad, I was built in with I was built in with a litter of siblings. But the problem was our families. Our families, they were traders. So, they had to trade. They had to train us in the art of trading, right? Mm-hmm. So, I was the 16th youngest out of 20, 21. I think it was 21. I don't remember too well. When you have a bunch of siblings, you kind of forget the names of a few. But, you have to compete to earn your keep around there. So you had to make deals with just about anybody. If anyone walked up to you and said, I'd like a fine apple. Do you got one? You'd have to look at them straight in the eye and say, well, I don't got an apple, but I got myself a fine pear. Would you take a pear over an apple? I'll throw in an ingredient of an orange or even a banana, but, you'd have to make trades like that. But you wouldn't really get much coin off of that. So then you had to go deeper. You got to do some. Ruben's just gonna look to the left and right, and then just look back down at the drink of water they have. Well, let's just say not really legal agreements, but sooner or later. But you're in competition to earn your keep. And then eventually you move out, and then you have to use those resources on your own. And, if things go well, you'll be able to make a living for yourself. But if not, then, Ruben's just again gonna stare down at the drink. Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
The blob passes you a note that says, just you.
Oh. Ruben's just going to read the note and go, must, someone else take the next, someone else want to talk about the life experience, eh? Oh, please don't make me stay. I feel like I'm getting watched here.
Sorry, I'm trying to find stuff.
Fezzick is going to look at Brian because he didn't hear the question and was zoning out, but so desperately wants to be involved.
Brian is going to say, well, Fezzick, what... And Brian is going to, instead, realizing how the question made him feel, he's going to say, what kind of adventures did you go on during your life, my friend?
That's so nice of you. So he is not sad by that question. But he goes, well, I don't know. I've just kind of always been fighting. See, when I was little, which is hard to believe, I fought people. Like when I was 5, I was really strong. And I worked on a farm with my grandparents, and I would hang out in the town, and they'd say, hey, there's this kid, he's really strong. And a lot of people wouldn't believe it, so they'd come and beat me up. But eventually I kind of learned how to fight, and I'd be taking on these guys that are like 3 times my age. And then they'd get mad, so they'd bring all their friends to come and beat up a 5-year-old. But I'd win. But that's what I used to do.
Elia sort of like cuts in like, whoa, 5? 5?
Yeah, I was pretty big. I was about, I don't know how tall they are, but if they're anything close to like
Yeah.
5, 6 feet, like that's how tall he was at 5 years old.
Yeah, he was probably like 5.
He was very large.
5'8" when he was 5 years old.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Large guy.
He wouldn't know those measurements, but he knows he was grown up sized. I was
He's
as big
big.
as big as the grown ups.
Oh.
I still it's a funny story because I'll still run into people who I beat up and they want a rematch, but it doesn't go well.
So I don't think that'd be smart.
No, I try and let them like get a few punches in. Like I want them to feel they're doing well before I annihilate them.
They just use Fezzick as like a literal punching bag.
Yeah, for a few minutes. But yeah, he's gonna with that pick up the brush and go back, but he's got almost a half smile on his face as if he is remembering some brawls he's been in and some fun times he's had knocking heads.
Brian is gonna look over to Dylyn and say, "What about you, Dylyn?"
Well, my brother and I grew up going to the Witch Lake Carnival with our parents a lot, and we were pretty well off, so it was a common occurrence for us to go. Problem about that, we lost our parents to the carnival, and I don't even want to get into the can of worms that was us being at the carnival and then getting sucked into the Feywilds again. Don't want to get into that can of worms. But yeah, my brother and I did everything together.
Where's your brother now?
Good question. You know the god Corellin? Well, and she like tucks her hair behind her ear, like you kind of went with Corellin.
Oh.
Brian's gonna look at Fezzick, try and make eye contact for one moment, and then look back at Dylyn.
He's gonna nod. Fezzick remembers.
Yeah, Brian as well.
Oh.
I do want to appreciate. So I'm looking at like notes that I've sent back and forth with Ethan regarding them, and I'm just looking at one thing that Ethan sent me, and it was Dylyn gets investigated by Fantasy IRS because of Dill's disappearance, and it's the funniest thing.
Tune in next week, guys.
Yeah, tune
The
in next.
final boss, the IRS, is showing up.
This is like the messages we had like back and forth about the twins was so funny.
That's so fun.
That's great.
Liana sort of just nods her head for a moment, like, I think I'm missing some background knowledge, but I'll just leave it at that.
I'll fill you in later.
Okay. No, I think, I don't know. All of your upbringing sound super sort of interesting, I guess. Personally, being the only tiefling in an all-gnome village is not the most fun.
Why did I just get the "I'm just a girl" in my head?
Yeah. You know, like nothing's really made to your size. Doorways are really short.
Tell me about it.
But it was pretty nice, you know, like my parents, they're both gnomes. And they sort of run an inn. Granted, later on they couldn't really run it too well anymore, so it was mostly me going around picking up supplies for them. And she starts to trail off on her own, just like before I came here, I was running an errand for them. The errand took a little bit long. I met some really weird people. I met a dragonborn with a sort of like trombone. I met a tabaxi who stole my money that I was using to buy supplies with, and that was a whole big thing. I met another. Wait, no, not the tabaxi. The tabaxi was on some sort of kick about using all natural stuff for different remedies.
The tabaxi is homeopathic?
Yeah. But no, there was a elf, a half elf who stole my money for supplies, and it was sort of on like a waterfront town. I've never seen the ocean before up until this point. This was like sort of my first time in an area that wasn't like completely doused in snow. And one thing led to another. We got shipwrecked. It took a lot of turns, and now I'm not even with those people anymore. I'm here. Which, by the way, has anyone seen sort of like a sight that they sort of just can't forget about? Because for me, it's seeing the storm roll in on like the waves of the ship right before we wrecked.
Brian is going to stare off into the distance, his eyes opened a little bit too much to just look normal, and he's not going to say anything right now.
Fezzick will also pass, probably for similar reasons.
Dylyn's gonna stare at the grain of the bar and just simply say, Corellin.
You doing okay, bud?
Me? No. Dylyn? Maybe.
All right. I guess no takers. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
Elliot just brought up trauma for everyone.
Yeah, like
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like
Real
Thanks, Queen.
vibe killer.
I'm sorry for ruining the mood.
Fezzick's gonna whisper to Brian and be like, "Who invited this guy?"
Not me, that's for sure.
To be fair, I did not want to be here. I sort of just showed up. But let's think of happy thoughts. I don't know. She starts looking around, sort of like frantically, looks at like sort of the bar and is like, "What's everyone's favorite food?" I guess I don't know. Personally, I think I like porridge a lot, but that's also because I'm biased and that's the only thing I've ate for like 5 years.
That sounds awful. Porridge,
Yeah.
like the oatmeal,
Yeah,
for 5 years straight.
for 5 years straight.
That's
Yeah.
so much.
No vegetables, nothing.
No, we were running low on supplies, and the city sort of did not want to fix our like main like road that sort of accesses like sort of neighboring towns to like get supplies from. So we were sort of stuck like rationing food for a little bit. So for 5 years of my life, that's the only thing I ate, and I got a little too used to it.
Huh. Well, I mean, I also like. I mean, I like soup. I like soup and bread. You know, it's very comforting.
Brian's gonna pull himself back from the 1,000-mile stare, and he's gonna say, probably a nice chicken, nice whole chicken. And he's gonna elbow Fezzick and say, "It's your second favorite thing. What's your favorite food?"
I thought second favorite was gonna be like punching.
No, that's first favorite, friend.
He's gonna go. He's gonna think, and he's gonna go roast herdbane. He's gonna look and be like, "You guys ever had herdbane?"
No.
No. It's a large bird of prey. It's very dangerous. They're rare, but if you get one, the leg you sear it up. Delicious. Throw in some wild mushrooms. Beautiful.
Oh, interesting.
I myself prefer charred salmon. It's a pretty good dish, actually.
Salmon.
Yeah, salmon.
Salmon.
Yeah.
It gets a nod of approval.
Dylyn's probably gonna have to say her favorite food's her mother's like lentil soup because
Lentil soup.
it's warm, comforting. I have a feeling something about least favorite food might be coming up. I'm already gonna jump on that train and say custard. If you know, you know.
Custard.
If you know, you know. Still can't believe that was a real thing.
It's wild that was a real thing, but at the same time, I can believe it because this is Wizards of the Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Custard.
Eliada's sort of just gonna nod along, and the blob is gonna start like frantically writing like all this stuff down.
Write this down.
Oh no.
And then the blob sort of passes Brian another note that just says, if we're sort of running a hotel, what stuff should we put on the menu? Like, should we put this stuff on the menu since it's all your favorites? Like, I don't know human food. What do we put on a menu for guests?
So Brian is gonna read this and say, it's a good question, my little slimy friend. And he's gonna look up at everybody and say, so we're gonna be running the inn. What kind of food do we want on the menu? What kind of food should we go out and get?
Peanuts.
Ooh, good idea.
Good snack.
For the bar. And he's gonna put his finger down, pointing at the bar.
Oh, good idea, my friend. And Brian will raise a finger and say, booze.
Smart.
Probably more important than peanuts.
Yeah.
We do need some of that.
Eliada's gonna cut in just like booze and peanuts. That's going to sustain our guests.
It would sustain me.
I worry for you basic stranger.
Wow.
Eliana
Ouch.
and
Start a
Brian.
fight. Start a fight.
I did send Eliada into a wall while they were levitating at one point. So
Oh yeah, you did. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
You should-
She's still salty about it.
yeah,
You should recreate
the
that.
lump on her head.
I think you should do it again.
I mean, I could just reach into my pouch right here. And then Brian will say, in addition to peanuts and booze, I think we could get some steaks or some forms of meat.
Potatoes.
Ooh. Some
My-
taters.
My mama made a very good potato soup.
Ooh, and do you know how to?
I know how to make it.
Ooh. And I'm going to look at the slime and say, I think we might have found somebody who might be able to lead the kitchen.
Yeah, the goop already starts like nodding along and rushes over to Twylen and it's just like hands them over a paper that is just like, menu please, menu.
I'll try my best. And I'll start, and Spectrum will start writing down a list. So yeah.
The blob sword just like takes both of your hands and like shakes aggressively. Like
Aw.
if they could say thank you, they would.
Do we even have a kitchen? Like, is that?
Yeah, we've only been in that hallway and the rooms and
Yeah.
the main bar.
We know you have a kitchen.
Oh my god! Oh god!
Yeah, we'll just use your room.
Oh.
Brian, how
We
come you never go in the
described
kitchen?
Dylyn's room, but hers technically has a kitchen.
Oh yeah, it does.
Technically.
Yeah, it does.
It also has a broken bunk bed.
So to briefly describe what the like main area of the inn looks like for viewers, there's about 6 different like little doorways. There's a doorway sort of on top of like a ledge that sort of peers down over the main bar area. 2 staircases sort of flow down from it. Stained glass windows on each side. Underneath that, there's 2 doors that presumably are the bathrooms. And then there's some more doors. There's a couple of doors that face outwards, one of which you came in through. Another one sort of looks like a supply or like janitor's closet. And then there's the archway for the long hallway of doors. But then there's another door that's sort of like locked up under key. It sort of sticks out a little bit. It looks like what's ever in there isn't like supposed to be known. Or like the blob doesn't want anyone getting into it really.
All right.
Also very wood tones like everywhere, like very warm wood tones, like just floor to ceiling and paneling.
Nice.
I might not have been paying attention. So, is there a kitchen in the main area?
I did not mention anything about kitchen. There is a bar. And there is sort of like a supply closet, but there does not appear to be a kitchen.
All right. Brian's gonna take a look around and say, "Well, I guess we might have to do a little construction project on the kitchen aspect, but."
The blob sort of like adjusts like his glasses and starts like pulls out a calculator and starts doing the math. Just like, can we afford this?
No.
Not
Man, this
yet.
really is
Not yet.
Husband Hotel.
And the blob sort of just like pulls out a receipt and then hands it to Brian. And to summarize it, it says, "We're in debt."
Brian's gonna look at the big negative number, and he's gonna kind of go, "Harumph."
I just pictured like a receipt just in red ink, all in caps. We're in debt.
Yeah. And Brian's gonna say, "Well, we can pull ourselves out of this mucky situation." As he takes one of the alchemy jugs that's sitting right next to him, and he pours himself another beer. And of course, we kind of have an unlimited amount of beer and other assorted liquids that I can create using these
Like
fine, like wine, milk, vinegar, oil, mayonnaise.
Gotta love the mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
That
Nah,
ain't
no.
detrimental.
No.
So this is a side rant right now
Oh.
because
About mayonnaise.
yeah, actually.
gosh.
actually,
Oh, wow.
so the day we're filming this is March 24th, not the 1st.
21st.
I'm sorry, I have trouble speaking. But yeah, we're filming this the 24th, and recently, a video game me and Bree play and really like, just came out with an update. And one of the things in the patch notes is now the player can drink mayonnaise.
And I didn't know this until the last time Emma and I played. And we both stood in front of her house and drank mayonnaise.
It was real silly goofy, but that's like
Oh.
a side rant.
So wonderful.
Well, in this world, we can also drink mayonnaise,
I
my
would
friends.
rather
Right.
not.
The question is, can we play mayonnaise? As everyone knows, mayonnaise is the best instrument.
True.
I think we can.
I,
Maybe that's how
I
we
could
do the
definitely do
music.
something with it. You just have to have different amounts of mayonnaise in each thing, and then you
Use them as drums.
and then you can have them on different notes.
Yeah. I
Very
like that.
progressive.
Interesting.
The blob starts thinking about all the possibilities of mayonnaise.
Yeah.
I can make 2 gallons of it at a time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much mayonnaise.
It's a good amount of mayonnaise.
That's a hefty.
Yeah.
hefty
The
amount.
blob is gonna go to the bar, to like the little refrigerator that's sort of tucked away underneath, open it up, pull out their like last jar of mayonnaise, and just sort of waddle over to like a part of the inn that's like a little bit more worn down. Like there's a little bit of cracking going on. They're gonna take a knife, scoop out a spoonful of mayonnaise, and spread it along the crack.
Brian is gonna see this little guy waddling, or like I guess schliming his way over, and then he's gonna say, Then he's gonna go over and he's gonna fill the little jar up to the top with mayonnaise.
Oh.
And he's gonna say, "Here you go, little guy."
The blob sort of just like nods his head as it continues to like slather the mayonnaise into the crevices.
I have one thing to say to Emma, and that is, who hurt you?
Definitely not this
Myself.
little blob guy. This
Yeah.
little blob guy couldn't hurt a fly.
No.
Meanwhile,
Is it helping? That's what I want to know. Like, is it patching the cracks or is it just stuffing them full of mayonnaise?
So, you want to roll me a perception check?
Yeah, can you
I
see
sure do. 7.
With your 7, you're looking real hard, and you almost see like sparkles fly out of it as the mayonnaise mixes with the little pieces of lumber and wood that sort of like fall off. It's becoming wood.
Whoa.
I didn't see it, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Physics not either. He's just going to appreciate
I
that.
would have seen this.
He's just going to think in his head, glitter mayonnaise.
If I were perceiving this, I would have rolled a 13.
A 13.
But alas, I'm not perceiving it.
All right. Hi, Bree.
I like this little music
I'm
that's
enjoying,
going
yeah, I'm
on.
enjoying it. I feel like I'm in a little video game.
You want to know what's really funny about that? It's it's relaxing music from the Sims series.
I love it.
I
It
love
started
Sims.
off with Sims 1. I think we're now at Sims 3.
Oh
No,
my
I think
gosh.
it's Sims 2.
Is it still Sims 2?
All right, we
Oh,
have
yeah, it's Sims 2
evolved.
build theme.
We have evolved from Sims 1, guys.
To Sims
I
2.
was so happy
I like
hearing
it.
the Sims 1 music.
Honestly, right now, I'm vibing with the Sims 2 stuff.
It's
I
pretty
love
good.
Sims 2.
This is what's playing in our little tavern.
Yeah, I'm dancing in the studio right now.
We can't get a lot of Sims 4 music though. There's a lot of updates
lot-
and patches and
there's a lot of
transactions you
lag.
have to make.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lag.
My game is currently broken a little bit, but that's besides the
Oh,
point.
yeah. Because you don't have a gravestone.
I don't have a gravestone.
Poor singular curly fry.
I miss a
God.
singular curly fry.
God rest his soul.
But now then, as all of you are sort of just starting to settle back in, after sort of the strenuous conversations, you hear a knock on the door. A simple knock, knock, knock from the door on the top of, like, at the top of the balcony.
Is that the one that we came in or is this a different one?
This is a different one.
Is this the locked
Ooh.
one?
No. It's the one like above in like the balcony area, overlooking the bar.
So
And the blob is gonna look up and like put down the mayonnaise real quick, and sort of hop up on the bar to like look up there.
Fezzick's gonna look at Brian for a second, and then just shrug and pick up a bar stool and kind of set it on his shoulder, like, time to go to work.
Brian is gonna shrug as well and gesture to the little slime guy to his hand, and if the slime guy permits, he's gonna put the little slime guy on his shoulder and go walk up.
Yeah, the slime graciously accepts.
Yeah, I pick him up, put him on my shoulder, and I go walk up to the balcony area, and I make sure that Fezzick is within eye and throwing range.
I mean, I'd like to, I'll just be on the other side of the door, like, and bash him over the head.
Getting ready.
Alrighty.
And Brian is going to open the door if it's unlocked, of course.
Yeah. So you turn the handle, and stepping out from the shadows. Oh, by the way, side note, this is Sims 3 music now.
Nice.
Hooray.
It's also
did
like
it.
a lot of HGTV.
Yeah, Sims 3 music is all over HGTV, but that's besides the point. So you open the door, and emerging from the shadows steps out a woman. Tall horns, red skin, navy blue hair pulled back into a ponytail, dressed in priest's attire. In tow, a small little child. Bree is gripping me aggressively right now.
I love these characters so much.
A small child, 2 braids, very blunt bangs, also sort of navy-ish hair with purplish skin, almost with like sort of like a tiger pattern across her skin. She also has very tiny little horns and is also dressed up in somewhat priest's attire. And they both walk in.
Brian is going to gesture to Fezzick to do not hit.
Fezzick's just got the bar stool, like, above his head, like, ready.
Yeah.
But I won't.
Yeah. Brian's gonna be like, no. And then he's gonna turn to the newcomers and say, "Welcome to the end. Would you like to have a drink?"
I think I will, but is there any sort of discount for, being a mother?
Not on the booze, but on other stuff. I could imagine that could be arranged.
Okay. Also, how's your availability? We're gonna have to stay here a couple of nights.
I'm gonna look to the little slime guy on my shoulder, see if he nods or shakes his head.
The slime guy just sort of puts up 2 thumbs like, yes.
All right. And Brian turns to the newcomers and says, "Oh yes, we have plenty of availability. Please come on downstairs."
Do they see me with my stool raised above my head, or am I just kind of out of sight?
Yeah, so the mother sort of just looks down at you with like sort of a side eye and sort of just like acknowledges the fact that you were ready to like throw hands, but like walks down the stairs anyway, like making sure to have her child on the other side of her away from you.
Pushing her down the stairs fast.
Oh, man.
Away.
Sorry. I'm going to follow with my stool and go back to the bar. And
Yeah, I'm
Pull up
gonna
a seat.
walk behind the bar and start drying an already cleaned glass that was not freshly cleaned. It's just been sitting out with a towel next to it for me to just dry actively.
Perfect.
And she's gonna sit down with her child. Her child seems to be a little bit weary-eyed, a little bit tired. And her child sort of looks up to her and it's just like, are we there yet? Can I go to sleep now? And she sort of just strokes her head real quick, just like, yeah, we're here now. And she's gonna look up at Dylyn not saying a word, but sort of looking her up and down, sort of as if she recognizes you. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for tonight's episode, guys.
Bum, bum, bum.
So we got our first guest. How are we feeling about that?
I'm
Your Honor.
excited.
I'm very curious. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I noticed that our first guest seems not phased that they are at this tavern in the middle of nowhere. So,
Yeah.
although
True.
Fezzick does not have the investigative capabilities, I hope someone smarter, which means everyone else in this room, could
Yeah.
potentially look into that.
Maybe Spectrum and Brian, since they have pretty high passive perceptions.
Possibly.
That would be very cool.
We don't
Yeah,
talk
my
about
passive is
Dylyn's.
good, but like I'm not actually that wise.
Oh.
Just 'cause I took the feat.
I'm middle of the road wise. I have a +2 to wisdom, so I'm
Interesting.
okay.
What about you, Evan? What's your...
Like-
are you wise? Are you
Like
smart?
modifier or
Like
Modifier, yeah.
+5.
For
Oh.
wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so very
wise.
wise.
So you are quite wise.
But
Yes.
Brian is also smart too, right?
Are you intelligence based?
Oh my gosh, intelligence and constitution is my
Nice.
I can do the talkie talks.
yeah.
I can do the punchy punch.
But
I
can you
can't
do the
punch.
walkie walks?
I can shoot.
I love that.
Good job.
Yippee! I can do something.
But yeah. Also, how are we feeling about tonight's episode? Sort of just being more so along the filler lines. I mean, we are halfway through the season, and this is the middle of the road episode.
Oh yeah.
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 Good. It's fun to kind of hear about where people coming from. I think, I think for my character is a little more reserved with his past, but after probably spending a few days with this group in a hotel, or tavern or wherever we are, he would be more than happy to share some tidbits about himself.
Yeah, after everybody walked in on Brian kind of having that little moment right there earlier. Fezzick wasn't there, of course, but Brian is he's opening up as well.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Was I
No,
good?
go ahead.
Yeah, same thing with Ruben. Like, he's starting to open up a bit more, but there are, like, some things where it's like, don't tell him this. If you tell him this, that's not going to be a good thing.
No, valid.
Yeah, with the stealing part that you were talking about. Right?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's stealing, more illicitly doing like, illegal trading.
Illicit transfers of property that are not consensual.
I will say everything in this episode is fake. Friendly
Thank you.
reminder.
It's
yes,
fake,
yes.
it's not
Thank
real.
I was about to like jump in myself to be like, oh yeah, a reminder. Everything we did tonight is acts of fiction, and everything our characters did in the past is acts of fiction. None of it is real.
We're actually trapped in a tavern. Please help us. Send
Yeah.
help. We
I'm
don't know
actually-
where we are.
Yeah.
I am
IRS.
actively cleaning a glass right now.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
Yes. And I'm 8'7". If anyone out there cares.
Oh yeah, and I just happen to be a little fairy.
And I happen to be a cat person.
I'm just an elf, guys.
Yeah, Dylan's got horns. I mean,
Yeah.
Bree's got horns.
Same difference.
But yeah, I'm interested to see where like stuff sort of leads, where it goes.
Very excited as well.
Yeah. And with that, let's start sort of saying our goodbyes. Starting off with Bree in the room with me right now.
Oh no.
Goodbye, Bree. I'm turning
Goodbye.
off your microphone.
Oh, that was aggressive.
I'm sorry. Bye.
Bye, Bree.
Bye bye.
Cuts off her mic as she's speaking. Okay. Next up. Goodbye, Andrew.
Goodbye.
Bye, Andrew.
Bye.
Bye.
Next up, goodbye, Twylen.
Bye.
Bye, Twylen.
Bye.
Next up, goodbye, Ruben, aka Evan.
Bye, everyone.
And then goodbye, Sawyer. It was fun while it lasted. Just turns off the microphone. I'm sorry. None of your microphones are on in the other room. I have all the power. And lastly, just a reminder, everything we said and did tonight was acts of fiction. We hope to see you not next week, but the following week, since we are on a bi-weekly schedule. And with that out of the way, this is DM Emma signing off.
Days seem sometimes as if they'll never end. Sun takes its heels to taunt you, but after sunlit days, one thing stays the same. Rises the moon. Days fade into a watercolor blur. Memories swim and haunt you, but look into the lake, shimmering like smoke. Rises the moon. Oh, close your weary eyes. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to darken fading summer skies. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Days pull you down just like a sinking ship. Floating is getting harder, but tread the water, child, and know that meanwhile rises the moon. Days pull you up just like a daffodil, uprooted from its garden. They'll tell you what you owe, but no, even so, rises the moon. You'll be visited by sleep. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to steal